here is prezi.com. This is a presentation maker that is interactive and a little bit more exciting than your average PowerPoint. Students would have to either sign up or log in. Since I have an account, I will log in. And I have my information already saved, so I'll just log right in. And then students can click on New Prezi. If they created a Prezi already, they can click on one of their Prezis. I already created, for the sake of this presentation, a presentation on fountain hues, which is the sleeve that I'm focusing on for this project. And I'm going to edit it. Now, if students were to create a new one, they would, as I mentioned before, create a new one, and then they would choose a template, such as this one, and then they would be brought up to a blank template. Now, what I did was this area here was blank, so I just typed in. You can click Edit Text, and you can simply type in what you would like, and then you can click on each section, and I'm just going to double click on that. And I have areas where, again, students can type in different information and whatnot from what they learned about the person they researched using the slave website that I presented to them. So anyways, for the Prezi I wanted them to be able to put down at least 5 different facts about this person and then write down how their perspective changed. So I'm just going to scoot over to my facts first, and then I'll come back to my perspective. So I'm going to go to my major big circle, and I have Fountain Hughes. He's born in 1848, born in Charlottesville, Virginia, and his father was a slave under Thomas Jefferson and died in the Army in the Civil War. And then I have more information about how he lived with his mother and how his family was poor and he didn't have shoes until he was 13, that should say, actually 13, not 18. And he even wore clothes that people didn't typically wear, dresses, because that's really all he had to wear. And then I have my next slide, and how he mentioned really not to buy what you can't afford. And he briefly talked about how he was never in debt. He only bought things when he actually had the cash. And he noted how one doesn't need everything to be happy. It is important to stay out of debt to live a happier life, which are always good words to live by. He didn't have an education, being that at the time, slavery, when one was a slave, it was illegal to learn how to read or write and teach slaves how to read or write. And then eventually, when he was freed, he just really didn't learn, like the average person, how to read and write. And then we have more information about how he really didn't have a place to live. He basically worked on plantations and worked for food and a little roof over his head. It wasn't really his own roof, but he had a place to sleep, and he worked hard, and that was his life. And he still mentioned how he was treated like cattle even once he was freed. And he did also mention that he wasn't treated as poorly as many other slaves. He was actually very fortunate in that aspect. However, he wasn't treated as the normal, respectable white man. And then I have my perspective changing back to my original circle. And my perspective really was, or I can write as a student, money isn't everything. It was really to the point of the importance of survival and having the bare necessities to live as a slave. They didn't really work hard to earn, thousands of dollars and whatnot. They just wanted to have the bare necessities, food and shelter. And even Fountain actually claimed that he was extremely happy at the end of his life. And being that he just didn't have any debt, he didn't owe anyone any money, and he worked hard. So this is my presentation on my Prezi. And